set it up, and they've carried through.
Two big guys going at it, boy.
This is a big guy battle. Wow.
Well, an advantage for the Ranger. Remke had no helmet for Johnston, so those punches are going to hurt a little more when they land.
They let them go.
One guy's 6'7". How big's Johnston? 6'5"?
No, I think he's 6'7" also. Yeah, that's pretty good size.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Welcome to the debacle we like to call the Instigators Hockey Show. New and improved. I want to just say thank you to everyone. This is 15 years bringing program to you crazy hockey fans. And I couldn't do it without my best buddy and co-host of the program. Oh, wait a minute. He's over there, Chris Kotsopoulos. Former NHL defenseman for the New York Rangers, the Hartford Whalers, the Detroit Red Wings, and the Toronto Maple Leafs.
With the Red Wings.
I love it. And this year, bringing on our panelists, we will start with Ricky, the Goon Otizu. Ricky, welcome. It's always great to have you. It's an exciting new year. And, I got a lot of backlash for your words last week, but we love it here at the Instigators Hockey Show. And we're going to bring in Maddie, the Mailman Lips. Maddie, it's great to have you. 15 years of the Instigators Hockey Show, adding you two gentlemen this year as panelists and co-hosts of the program. I got to say, last week was a great success. I got a lot of input from a lot of people. So great job, gentlemen. And, let's not disappoint. I guess, as always, I'll start the crap and you guys can clean it up. Beth, welcome. You're the best. Thank you for all that you do. Beth Penny, always behind the scenes, running the program. She's really the heart and soul for us. If you guys noticed the new StreamYard, there is the comment section, so don't be afraid to bring in your questions, and we'll answer you both on the air and in the comment section. But there's a note section that I'm using now, so I don't really have to use my glasses so much anymore.
But don't lose hold on. Don't lose those glasses. You'll need them.
You're right. Hey, guys, we're going to start off with probably the biggest news of the week, and kind of piggyback off what we spoke about last week, Connor McDavid's new contract. Really surprising, and we'll talk about all the contracts, or most of the contracts. Really surprising, but not too surprising to say McDavid is all about the commitment of being a captain and winning than he is all about the money. 12.5, is that really much more than what he was making in his previous contract? It's pretty much just an extension for 2 years to say, hey, guys, I'm committed to winning, and I want to win the Stanley Cup right here. Kotzi, we'll start with you, man. What are your thoughts?
Well, my first thoughts right off the bat is exactly what you just said. He's given the Edmonton Oilers an early Christmas present, letting them know that you got 2 years to win a Stanley Cup with me. That's basically what that contract means to me as an ex-player. He's made $100 to $150 million already, minus taxes. So it's not like he needs the money or anything like that. But he's giving them a gift. They got 2 years to win a Stanley Cup with him, or he walks. That's just all there is to it. He'll be 30 years old at the end of the 2 years. Still probably good enough to get another 4, 5, 6 year deal the way they're throwing around years these days. But with Draisaitl locked in, Bouchard locked in, Nurse locked in, he's going to give these guys every chance in the world to win a Stanley Cup. And I think I heard a lot of crap around the leagues. Retired players saying what a shit deal that was. Why are you doing that? You're going to hurt other guys. Well, you know what? Here's what I say to it right there. It's not your business. It's his Connor McDavid's business. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
Disagree with you.
That's good. You can disagree all you want.
Go.
I disagree with you 100%. I disagree.
That's
These
fine.
players like yourself, and I'm going to tell you why. Because
Good.
players like yourself busted your ass, making minimum bullcrap money, okay? And they should be getting everything they deserve at this point, okay, Kotze? I know exactly. I mean, salaries are common knowledge. I just looked something up the other day. The Stanley Cup winning Canadians had guys making, during their dynasty, $50,000 a year, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Walt Kachuk, on the back of his hockey card, it said Walt Kachuk carried dynamite to the mine in the offseason to help support his family. Connor McDavid left $13 million on the table. He's an idiot. And you want to know something? Everyone who's a free agent coming up is going to suffer for what he just did because people are going to compare his contract to other people's contracts coming up. The Russian kid who can't shine Connor McDavid's boots, Kaprizov out there in Minnesota, he raped him over the coals and took every penny he can get. And McDavid, if you think you're going to win a Stanley Cup with Connor Ingram being your only hope as a goaltender and Nurse on defense locked up, you're an idiot too. Plain and simple.
Okay, Ricky, you got your point across, but let Matt get his in there now.
Go ahead, Matty. It's your turn.
We got one end, we got the other end. Let's try to get somewhere in the middle there. All right. So I was wrong. I thought he was going to leave. But I was right that he signed a 2-year deal. He basically said, he's under term this year. He has 2 years after that, so 3 years. And they signed Ekholm. They signed Wallman right afterwards to, decent contracts and everything like that. This deal to me, I tend to agree with Ricky that you have head and shoulders the best player in the league. And he could have set the new standard. And honestly, I think that he's trying to obviously win a cup in Edmonton. He's showing loyalty and whatnot like that. But he should have been a little more selfish. But you know what? If he wins a cup, he's a genius. So we really don't know. But if he doesn't win a cup and he leaves this much money on the table, or he doesn't take a better deal to go to maybe a better chance to win, then I agree with Ricky. He's an idiot. But for now, it's kind of a wait and see because, that team in Edmonton, I will say, they're totally going to rally behind McDavid for that leadership. He just said, hey, boys, get on my back. I'm all in. Are you all in? And they're going to run through a wall for McDavid. So, it's going to be hard to kind of bet against Edmonton this year. I think they're going to have a lot to prove, and I think they're going to go all for it for McDavid.
You guys. I mean, Ricky, you make some good points there. I understand that what the repercussions from other players and around the league and stuff, but he's left himself open. At 2 years, he can walk, and when he walks, he can make up all the money in the world back, and he will not be a shot player at 30, like some of these guys that are getting 8-year deals and 9-year deals who think they're going to be still good at 35, 36, and 37. We'll get into that a little later, but. I just you disagree with you. He's an Edmonton Oiler his whole damn career. He wants to give his team a present. He's given them a 2-year out. That's all there is to it. And if the rest of the league doesn't like it, like I said, right here, see that? That's the way I look at it.
Listen, I think he's the greatest player in the game. I just think there's one thing in the world you can't get more of, and that's youth. You're giving 2 years away on a team that I will say right now is not going to win a Stanley Cup.
Well, they've been to the Stanley Cup Finals how many times in the last couple of years? You're acting like they're gone already.
But they lost.
They're going to go backwards.
They lost with a 26-year-old McDavid. They lost with a 27-year-old.
They took them to 7 games. Big deal. I mean, you make it sound like they were whitewashed by the Florida
If you bang a fat chick after the prom, you're still banging a fat chick after the prom. And he's second best.
David did the right thing.
He's not an American. He sucks.
All right, we're going to move on. Here's how we're going to move on, though. I will say this. I'm a little bit more on Matt's side of this thing. I think honestly, I mean, look at Eichel.
That's not what you said on your show.
he signs an 8-year, 108. I mean, he's doing what? That's averaging what? 13.6,
12.5. 12.5 is what he's going to get.
Okay.
Eichel got 13 and a half.
No,
Now, and the cap, Manny, correct me if I'm wrong. The cap goes up how much more next year? Another 15 mil?
It goes up
13 to
about
15.
it's going up about 7.5 per each year.
So-
I mean, yeah, it's going.
I'm going to tell you right now. I think, Ricky, I got to disagree with you. I mean, I get what you're saying, and there's definitely a point of view there. So, but at the end of the day, look around. Connor just signed a new contract. I think he got what, $98 million for how many years? What did he do? You got
an 8-year extension. Kyle Connor.
Yeah. Well,
You got an 8-year
it's
extension.
96
Eichel got an
to
8-year
98
extension
million.
as well.
So, I mean, I think the guys who are going to get paid are going to get paid no matter what. And I think I feel that I think McDavid did this out of, hey, I want to win a Stanley Cup, and I'm willing to step aside with all the cash because I know I can get it at some point, and it's worth it for me to try to win than to make how you feel, maybe 13 extra million bucks or whatever it is. He's going to make the money. There's no doubt about it.
Yep, I agree with that.
I mean, there's a lot of other things I want to.
Okay, let's get into it. Kyle Connor's
You
29.
said Eichel, go right there.
Oh, no, I want to go with the Connor one. He's 29 years old already. Does this extension include this year, or does it start next year?
Next year.
Well, good. Then he's going to be like in his mid-30s when he's halfway through his contract. Does anybody still think he's going to be that good at that age? I don't, personally.
He's been great. Look at his injury concern already now. How many years has he been injured already?
What was the extension? 5 year?
There's certain people that deserve long-term deals. I don't think he's one of them, personally. That's just me. Eichel, I agree with. Give him the money because he's, 27, 26? Something like that.
Eichel's the same draft class as McDavid. They're the same age.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. They're younger. Both of them are younger than Kyle Connor.
Kyle Connor,
Connor
it is an
is,
8-year deal.
28.
Yeah. I just, I guess Winnipeg thinks they got to keep him there. I mean, they gave him the house there in Winnipeg, just like Ricky says. He took the money and ran. 13 and a half.
What's
the problem too?
How does Kyle Connor play? Does he play on the power play? Does he play on the penalty kill? Does he play 5-on-5? He's a big power forward.
He's not a big power forward. He's 6'1", 185 pounds. What are you talking about?
He made that.
Matty. He's not a power forward. He's a slick
on the
guy.
top line of a President's Trophy.
He's a slick guy. Good offensive talent, but he's not a power forward. Please.
But he's a goal scorer. Is he a goal scorer?
Yeah, did I just say that? He's a slick forward. I got that. But he's not a
goal
power
scorer. He's a 40 goal scorer.
He's not a guy that's going to go dig pucks out of the corner. He's not going to score.
What are you paying a 40 goal scorer?
He's a power forward.
What are you going to pay him?
You called him a power forward. He's not.
Oh, come on. He checks. He plays hard. Yeah, I love Kyle Connor's game. I saw him in Team USA. I love the way
he's not worth 8 years, though, to me.
Listen, I was just going to say, any team giving out 8-year deals to anybody 30 plus is out of their mind.
Yeah.
Eventually these buyouts are going to hurt people for years to come. And you know what it is, Kotze, in my opinion? It's a bunch of general managers who either say, I'm not going to be here in 8 years, or I'm going to be fired. Let's go for it right now. And they're handing out 8-year deals. And somewhere down the line, that's going to be Wade Redden. That's going to be, one of the guys that it just fails. And it's going to be a really major buyout. It's going to hurt people really badly at the age of 34, 35 on those bodies when they break down and they're making that kind of money against the cap and you can't get rid of them. And only Chris Drury gives everybody a no trade. I don't know. Was there a no trade in this one?
Yeah, there's a no trade clause with Kyle Connor. Listen, I got nothing against him as a player, Matty. You and I will go back at it here again. I think he's a great offensive threat, and he's obviously their leading scorer and all that. But to call him a power forward, please.
All right, so you said
all right.
But no.
Forward,
you said Eichel deserves the contract, right?
Yeah,
13 and a half. Okay.
You know what else, though, Matty? We forget too, though, is Winnipeg is not exactly a destination anybody wants to go. So that's why Winnipeg gave him all this money.
Probably.
Okay, so
Exactly.
I will
Nobody's
grant you
going
that.
to Winnipeg.
I will grant you that.
Who's Winnipeg bringing in? If Jonathan and Taves wasn't
No, I
born
give
there,
you
he
that.
wouldn't be playing there.
I'll
right?
give you that. I'll give you that.
So what you're saying, okay, Kyle Connor not worth it, Jack Eichel worth it. Jack Eichel
Eichel's already proven he's won a Stanley Cup.
Right, but Jack Eichel has career points. Connor McDavid has more assists than Jack Eichel has career points. Connor McDavid has 722 assists. Jack Eichel has 608 career points. Jack Eichel has a career injury history. He was injured in Buffalo a ton. He still doesn't play 82 games. You're going to give $13.5 million over that?
You're a stats guy, okay? Marcel Dion was one of the top point getters in his whole career. I'm going to go back to my area. How many Stanley Cups did he win?
Same as me?
Yeah, same as me, 0.
Same as Lundqvist.
I go with the guys, the guys that win. Okay, win.
Ricky.
I said win.
I'm gonna have to arm wrestle Ricky, man. Next time I see him.
I wish he was wearing a blue Ranger shirt. I do wish he was wearing a Ranger shirt. Okay, I guess.
Listen, I would take McDavid, Eichel, or this other one. Any one of the three over the effort what I watched last night.
Well,
we're not going there yet.
We'll get into that later.
I got other things we have to
By
cover.
the way, I didn't get to see it, but I'm sure you two did down below here on the screen. What the hell happened in that Tampa, Florida game, an exhibition, Ricky?
That's
Oh,
what I
I
was
watched
going to bring up.
What the hell
Kachi,
happened?
let me tell you something.
$100,000 fine against the Lightning. 25.
Kachi, let me tell you something.
The coach.
I have not
seen
seen.
penalties. What was going on there? I didn't see
I will
any
send
of
you-
the highlights.
I will
Come on,
send you
Joe.
I will send you a highlight reel of the game. Let me tell you something. The first night, Florida pushed Tampa around. Okay. When they played the home and home, Florida pushed Tampa around. Tampa dressed a very skilled, small lineup. The second night, it was like when Philadelphia brought Cunningham up to take a beating from Fertitta 3 times in the Garden.
Okay.
They dressed any ounce of toughness they had in their organization. They brought them up for that game.
Yeah, I
And
was
they
going to
humiliated
say, I know who Sabrin is. He's a Joe Rockhead that's a career minor leaguer.
Yeah, his dad was Ken Sabrin, who was also a career minor leaguer Rockhead.
Yeah, I know. Okay, that part I did.
But let me tell you something. You want to talk about now? I was going to bring this up later. There was more intensity in the preseason this year with physicality than I've seen in 10 years. Okay, every night I put a game on, there was a brawl, there was a fight, there was hitting, there was animosity, and I can't wait to next season. I believe it goes down to 4 preseason games. Correct? Is that when I start the new collective bargaining?
84 regular season games.
Can you imagine the intensity when it comes down to you're only getting 4 games? You're not dressing rookies every night. You're not telling your guys, which I heard an inside story the other day, which I don't really want to blow my source on this, but guys like Rubrick and Rempry were told not to scrap this preseason. Okay? So that's another thing that bothers me about the New York Rangers. It really does piss me off. Laviolette pulled that bullshit.
You just mentioned, though, and Matty, you said it too. That's the way it was when I broke it. Preseason was a shit fest.
Yeah.
What was Phil Esposito? Hold on. What was Phil Esposito saying on WOR?
There was nothing about trying to win the game. It was about trying to get a job. And how you want a job was by kicking the shit out of each other.
What was Esposito saying when he was an announcer for the Rangers? Preseason is for goal scorers to score, goalies to stop the puck, and fighters to fight. And everyone gets noticed their own way. He said that every single season, and it stuck with me 35 years later. Because let me tell you something. Rempe's fight that you show at the beginning of this show against Ross Johnson, that put that kid on the map because Ross Johnson beat the shit out of 90% of the NHL the year before. When he dropped his gloves on that fight, I was sitting in my living room and I went, oh my God, this kid's going to get killed. And he hung in there, and I think I gave him the fight on points, and Rempe became a Madison Square Garden overnight sensation. Yeah. Rick Tocchet, Cam Neely, none of these guys are discovered if they didn't have the opportunity to drop the gloves. And all of them made their teams as fourth-line grinders who made their way to become 50-goal scorers. That doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah. I mean, preseason seemed to me more exciting in some ways this year. I know, Katsu, you're saying back in the day, but, Tampa and Florida going at it, bloodbath. I mean, especially, they're obviously in-state rivals. They're, believe it or not, the last 6 Eastern Conference championships reside in Florida. And I
let me ask you guys a question. The hell with Tampa and Florida. What about Montreal and Ottawa? Ottawa's heavyweight gets knocked out by Wi-Fi. He's traded the next day.
You got another T'Chuk over there. They don't take any crap.
Yeah, but what about McEwen gets knocked out by Wi-Fi, and he gets traded the next day, and they bring in McDermott. They're not fooling around up in this division anymore.
Not.
Well, they had to because the two Zajac brothers or Jackeye brothers they're causing all kinds of shit in Montreal.
Yeah. You know what's funny?
To me, that was a good trade by Ottawa.
Yeah.
A lovely trade. And the Devils take the kid McEwen and waive him. So let me ask you a question. Going into the season, that's the one I don't like the New Jersey Devils. I despise them since the day they came into the National Hockey League. I can't stand them. Okay? But they are a good hockey team. They just left their team wide open. They don't have anybody to protect these kids. And let me tell you something. Youth gets hurt every season. Nobody respects that kid. They run him constantly.
Yeah.
McDermott couldn't skate. I think we both realized the game has passed him by. He's a fourth-line stage fighter at this point in his career. But the Devils left themselves wide open right now. They have no toughness on that organization. And I like what Ottawa did because Ottawa went out and said, okay, we don't have anybody to match you, Wi-Fi. You and your brother just beat the crap out of us 2 nights in a row, but we're going to stand up to you now. And I think that's
Ottawa's an upcoming team, though. That's why they got McDermott there. He's going to be in the lineup when needed, and it's just going to make it even across the other side of the aisle. It's not like it's going to brawl every night, but Ottawa's an upcoming team with a lot of good talent. So you have to have that one guy, just like the Rangers do with Rempe. You have to have that one guy that they look across, go, shit, he's there again.
Yeah,
that's all there is to it. It's not about the fighting, Ricky. You know what I'm talking about.
100%. Listen, hey, Kotze, do you remember?
I can't be the idiot I want to be today because that guy over there is going to come after me.
I just want to make one last point, and then I'll shut up on fighting. Do you remember when the Rangers got Ryan Reeves and Mr. Wilson on the Washington Capitals was calling Ryan Reeves sir and daddy? He didn't throw a check against that Ranger team the entire season. When Reeves challenged him on opening night, he went to center ice and shook his gloves, and Wilson skated away. Yeah. The minute Reeves left, where was Wilson last year? He was running Panarin again.
If you don't have that equalizer in the lineup, the other team's going to take advantage.
The Rangers are the only team in the league that for 10 years they carried a gun with no bullets.
How do you think I felt playing in Toronto when I had to face Basil McRae, Bobby Probert, Joey Kosher? You know what I mean? All on one team.
Yeah, Bob McGill too.
Listen, I wasn't scared of anybody, and I fought enough of them. I fought Kosher and I fought Probert, but Jesus Christ, I mean, what do you do with 3 guys like that on the team? Forget about Lee Norwood and Harold Schnips and the rest of them. You got to have that one guy. That's all there is to it. Plain and simple. You have to have it.
Just piggybacking on what you said, a little bit about the Devils. The Devils really, they are a soft team. They have all the talent in the world.
Yeah.
They were able to lock up Hughes, which looks like a fantastic contract. Jack Hughes, not Luke. But they locked him up for 8 years, $8 million. He's a 100-point scorer when healthy. Yeah. But he can't stay healthy.
You got to keep him healthy.
Yeah, I mean, they got all the talent to make a cup run. They really do. And I'm saying that as a Ranger fan, but like you said, they don't have a deterrent. They don't have a guy where things get chippy that,
Now, Dylan's a heavyweight on defense. Dylan's a heavyweight.
You got Dylan, you got Pesci. They're a little physical.
But Dylan's a heavyweight, but Dylan's a hockey player. You don't really want Dylan sitting in a belly box for 5 minutes to fight a guy who's not.
You only got 6 defensemen. You don't want your defensemen fighting. I mean, Kotze, you were a defenseman. You don't really want to go down 5 defensemen. You'd rather lose a forward than a defenseman. Everybody kind of agrees that. So if you have a defenseman as kind of your tough guy and your fighter, that really kind of throws your shifts out of order. And really, it's not ideal to have your tough guy being a defenseman.
As long as you have somebody in the wings to deter an opposition. You might not need them every night because some teams don't have them. But you got to be able to insert that guy when needed. Plain and simple.
Man, the comments are awesome. Keep them coming, everyone. Some really good comments.
That's a good line by this Michael Rogers saying that the difference is Rempe will play every game. I mean, he will be in the lineup every game.
Yeah.
Well, he'll get better as he goes.
As he plays, if they actually give him shifts.
Yeah.
I'm like, Fred Flintstone.
Power play time.
Yeah.
Wait, you guys are chomping at the bit
You
here.
roll your eyes.
Ready?
You roll your eyes, but at least you didn't give up short-handed goals like a threat defenseman.
If we could get all four of us on the ice.
Power play too.
If we were on the ice last night, we'd be better on the power play than they were last night.
Well, Captain America, Mr. Fox, who's going to be missing the Olympics, sitting on his ass somewhere. If he could run a power play, we'd be all right. I'd take Ray over to Lennon right now at 68 years old over Fox.
Well, right now, it's only one game, Ricky. I'm not going to get too.
It's not one game, Cocky. It's a year and a half. The guy has sucked for a year and a half.
Ricky, are we going to get into the Ranger stuff right
No,
away?
we're not. We're not. Time out. You guys are blowing your load way too early, man. Oh my God!
I'm ready to go tonight. I'm ready to go.
I know everyone's all fired up. Everybody's angry. We're gonna get there. But we have other things to talk about, guys. We can't always just talk New York Rangers. I hate to tell you that. It's fun, and we're gonna have plenty to do. I wanted to go back here a little bit, and I mean, everyone, we're talking contracts. We're talking. The Florida Tampa thing was pretty amazing. A lot of money got shelled out there. Tampa was the only team that got fined in this. I know this is where we started. $100,000 against the team, $25K against Coach. What the hell's his name? Cooper. Thank you. I keep wanting to say
Alice Cooper.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think now. I mean, with Tampa not having this type of reputation, gentlemen, and Ricky goes back to, hey, they threw us around the first night. We came back the second night. I mean, how unfair is one team being fined in this? Is really what I wanted to bring up as the story. I mean, I don't think Florida didn't pay anything for this, and I don't think I don't.
To be honest with you, honestly, I'm a fan of fighting, and I love it, and I wish I saw more of it. I think what Kotze said too is this kid Saber, he's a minor league enforcer who's never going to play a day in the NHL. He went out and grabbed one of Florida's top players, and he suckered him, and it was and it's. Honestly, it's not what I even want to see when it comes down to that. That's not playing physical hockey. That's just a punk grabbing somebody. That's Tom Wilson slamming Panarin. Okay? If you got the balls, then line up with somebody, go on the other side and fight somebody who fights. Let's go. Let's go to center ice. Like, Wi-Fi did with a lot of people in this league. Rempe's done it with every single person in this league. But to pick up a kid that's a non-fighter, punch him in the side of the head and slam his head into the ice, you're not proving anything. He deserves to be fined there. As far as finding the coach, I don't see a reason for that. You both dress the lineup.
Agreed.
I agree. I don't see how you can find one coach and not the other when it's not just a one-game thing. Like we said, like Ricky, you said, Florida really started it the first game when they went home and home, and then Tampa retaliated. I mean, to me, that's not a deterrent because everybody always talks in the league how, oh, Florida gets away with this. The Panthers play dirty. The Panthers this. The Panthers that. Well, you kind of prove a point when you're finding the team that's not the Panthers, and both teams pretty much have a hand in what went down.
Exactly.
You have something like 200 penalty minutes handed out. That's not one team. That's
right.
two. So it's either you find them both or you find none of them.
Right.
Choosing one and the coach, that's kind of ridiculous. And that's where a lot of fans get upset. And that's where a lot of fans, they say the favoritism that goes on. And I tend to agree with that.
Let me ask you a question. With Florida, and I'm saying this as a Rangers fan because I've watched more Ranger-Florida games than Florida anyone else, but Florida gets away with a lot of late hits. Florida gets away with a lot of stick work.
Ricky, Florida's a dirty team, but you know what?
Yeah, thank you. That's where I was going with this.
Nobody does anything about it. That's the problem.
Yep.
Okay? As long as they get away with it, they're not going to do it. The NHL's not doing anything to them about it. Bennett got away with knocking the shit out of goaltenders every playoff series last year.
You want to know why they got away with it?
That's where I was going with it.
Anything about it. My point is nobody's so Tampa. Correct me if I'm wrong here. A few years ago, they had a pretty tough team, didn't they?
Yes. Patrick Moran was on the team.
but they're not so tough anymore in the lineup anymore.
No.
Think about it. Look at their lineup.
Yeah.
It's not as tough as it used to be.
No Patrick Maroon down at the
Yeah,
bottom.
Maroon's gone. The only tough guy on that team is what? Cernick now? Because they lost.
Tanner Genoa is gone. Patrick Moron is gone.
Yeah,
They lost a lot of their
They lost that guy. I can't remember what his name is. The centerman that they picked up last year that played in Nashville. I can't remember his name. He's gone somewhere else now. I mean, so they're going to have to do something if they want to go to Florida. But the league's got to learn that you got to. If they're going to get away with it, you should try and get away with it too.
Yeah.
I'm not against Florida. I'm not against Florida for doing what they do. If they're going to be able to get away with it, they're going to keep pushing it.
You want to know why they get away with it? I'll tell you exactly why Florida gets away with all this. Because they do it all the time. When you do something all
they're
the time.
They're a team that hits everybody except for one guy. That
They
team
don't
takes the body on everybody.
Florida does it all the time.
Yeah, I agree.
So when they do it all the time, they're not going to call it out all the time.
It becomes normalized.
They're only going to call it out when it's egregious. That's what's going to happen. They do it all the time. They're able to get away with it. And that's the standard that they set. And
somebody
needs to know that's how Florida plays. So when you're a team that doesn't play physical and you get extra chippy against Florida, you're more easily getting caught. Just like when two siblings are fighting, they don't see the first sibling that causes it. They see the retaliation. How many times does that happen?
Somebody needs to beat the shit out of Kachuk and Bennett. That's
all right. So here's the other thing I wanted to add, and then we can get fired up. I wanted to talk because nobody's talked about this, and I find it very interesting. Milan Lucic is back in the league, boys and girls, signed by St. Louis on a PTO. You know, we talk about a tough guy. You talk about a guy who dropped the gloves for mostly everybody who could drop the gloves. And, you know, he's got some hands. He's definitely a net front presence. St. Louis went out and brought this guy back in. What's the thoughts? Chris, what's your thoughts on that, Kotz?
Well, if he's capable of playing, I mean, that's a good thing for St. Louis. Because St. Louis was like a team last year that kind of looked good at times and didn't look good at times. So he might help out on a third or fourth line stuff, but I don't think he's got enough left in him, Paul. What is he up? He's got to be close to 40 now, isn't he? Like 35, 36, 37.
38, I think, right?
Yeah, there you go. It's not a bad try. I did see Brett Hull doing an interview with him about him, saying what kind of juice he's bringing to that team. You know, all of a sudden the team feels a little bit braver, a little bit stronger, a little bit of this. The only thing that's going to stop Milan Lucic is if George Laraque comes out of retirement.
Well, you know, you got to say this. Milan Lucic was a top fighter in this league for many years, and he was a skilled hockey player.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to take a side here where I'm going to say this, and this is just something that's a personal opinion. It has nothing to do with the show. Express written consent of Ricky O and nobody else. You beat your wife, get the fuck out of the league. You don't belong back in hockey. No second chances. You put your hand on a woman, it's proven in court, you're done. Tyreek Hill today, I read the transcripts of what came out. It made me sick to my stomach. He doesn't belong back in the NFL. I'll be honest with you, I'm a big Milan Lucic fan. I got a Milan Lucic Calgary Flames jersey signed. I lost a lot of respect when he put his hands on his wife.
Yeah, but Ricky, everything you said there is actually proper to say, but the bottom line is it's sports now, and if they can use a guy, they don't give a shit, these leagues.
No, they don't. And that's my point. They don't give a shit.
As long as a guy can help their team produce, they don't care. Los Angeles Rams, when they won their Super Bowl, had a guy at defensive end that murdered 2 people with car accidents, and yet they still have him there.
100% agree with you, Kyle.
You know what I'm saying? So as long that pro sports is all about this, Ricky. It's all about this right here. If you're making me money, we'll turn a blind eye to anything else.
I mean, hey, God, we both know the most famous wife beater in the history of hockey has a chant in Madison Square Garden for the last 50 years. Not a fan. I'm just not a fan.
I was there, and I used to see the big carp get thrown at him during the national anthem. About 8 or 9 carps, about this long, thrown at him during the national anthem.
I remember being in the Garden hearing that chant, man. Beat your wife.
Beat your wife, man. Beat your wife.
Well,
Maddie, you're too young.
How we digress. I love it.
The original question was Milan Lucic. Getting back to that.
Go.
I think from a hockey standpoint, if we're talking strictly hockey standpoint, it's a good move for St. Louis. St. Louis was one of the best teams when Jim Montgomery took over, when Boston really fired him way too early. The St. Louis Blues were literally 3 seconds away from going to the second round before Winnipeg had a miracle goal and obviously went into overtime and ended up winning. St. Louis Blues, Jim Montgomery is a fantastic coach. They're going to be a sneaky good team. They were seconds away from going to the second round. Lucic brings some toughness on the bottom line, some physicality. It's a good move for them. It's a low risk, high reward move.
I love it.
And I think it could really pay off for St. Louis.
As long as he can still play, that's the question, though. Still, once the season starts, we'll see how the body. I know, but the body. We're talking about 82 games coming up here.
Even if he doesn't play 82, even if he plays 50, 55, and he's impactful in those 50, 55, and he's able to go into the playoffs. That's what you need. Especially you need to be a little heavier when it comes to playoff. And Lucic is physical, maybe not always in a good way.
Listen, in his prime, I never looked at him as a dirty player either. He played a hard game, hard-nosed game.
Game.
You know what I mean? And if he dropped the gloves, he never jabbed anybody, as we called it in our day.
Did you ever hear the interview, Kotze, where he talks about, I'm not making fun of the guy. He talks about it himself. Have you ever talk about how he has that little bit of a hump in his back?
Yeah.
He's slightly disformed in his shoulders, and his arms go forward. And which makes him so tough to tie up in a fight is that his arms have this extra reach. I mean, he's a dangerous fighter, Lucic. I mean, he's a really tough guy.
He looks like a troglodyte. That's what he looks like. The arms sloping down. I know what you're talking about, Ricky. Gordie Howe had that look too.
So
sloping shoulders.
Last thing I want to bring up when it comes along that lines, Ryan Reeves. Now, he's still with the Maple Leafs, correct?
No, San Jose Sharks.
Sharks.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did he become a free agent? They didn't trade him.
He was traded to San Jose for a 7th-round pick or something. And he was sent there to reach the cap floor. Another one of those trades. Now they have Carey Price, Ryan Reeves. I think they just traded for Sammy Blais the other day.
Ryan Ellis.
It's crazy. No, but there's another player involved in that trade that's never playing again also. When they get to the cap floor in 2 years, when it goes up $13 million, they're going to be traded for Dennis Potvin and Ken Dryden's body. It's
San Jose, the people in San Jose, I read over the week, though, are happy with Ryan Reeves being there, Ricky.
Oh, no, he's playing great.
Is he going to be there? Is he not? They're happy with the way he is in the dressing room and all that crap. So,
is he in the lineup?
Yes, he's
no
the fourth line.
Good. Good for him.
Listen, you guys remember when we had the practice show and we were sitting down and talking over the summer, and I said to you, the best Alexei Lafreniere ever looked as a New York Ranger was when Ryan Reeves was on the team. And I gave you examples of it was always Reeve and Lafreniere at the front of the line with Shesterkin. When Reeves would scream, release them, and it was always Lafreniere hitting. When Reeves was giving him fighting lessons and the fight broke out and he fought Stamkos and he was out on the island and somebody cheap shotted one of the Rangers. And Sissy Boy Miller pointed at the referee, call a penalty, I got my period. And Lafreniere dropped his gloves and went and fought the guy. Ryan Reeves in a locker room is a huge influence, and he's a settler. My dad used to have a saying, and I used it a few times. Don't bring a gun if you don't have bullets, okay? So right now, San Jose just put a bullet in the gun. You touch Celebrini, you touch Will Smith, and we're going to hit you with Ryan Reeves. And I love that thinking, having that veteran there. He's not going to score, but he's still a top 3 heavyweight in the league. And if you touch one of his kids, he's going to run you through. He's going to run you through the end zone.
It goes back to what we said earlier, Ricky, with Matty. As long as you got a deterrent, that's good enough.
Yeah.
Oh, and the Leafs got nobody now. Did they replace him?
They're actually
Dakota Joshua dropped the
the
gloves.
heaviest team in the league. So
Dakota Joshua dropped the gloves. They picked him up. I mean,
all I know is, hey, Matty, who was the kid from the Kings last night? I forget his name right now. Who had the fight in the first period? His brother's the big UFC fighter.
Oh,
yeah.
I like that kid. That kid's a beast. He told the Avalanche bench, "I'll kill every one of you. Go back and watch the replay." They hit his guy. He had to fight. He went down, and the guy was holding him down by his chin. He got up. He went to the bench. "I'll kill every one of you."
I watched the fight, Ricky. I watched the fight. He didn't destroy the guy. He didn't destroy anything.
I said his guy got destroyed with the hit, and he went in and fought the other guy.
The hit was clean.
Yeah, but he got destroyed. At least he stood up for his teammate.
Yeah, but he didn't destroy Manson or anything like that. And again,
No,
Ricky,
I'm saying, but he's willing. He's tough.
Of all people, you should know one thing about fighters, okay? I'm not the greatest, I'll admit it. But you should know one thing. If you're the greatest fucking fighter in pro hockey, what the fuck are you doing in the minors?
Oh, no, 100%. 100%. Listen, one of the best fighters in the history of the league.
I always heard about the Blondies. I always heard about all these guys. What if they're that great a fighter? What are they doing there?
Well, that's Fleming out of the Canadian organization. The guy was the most feared guy in the AHL for 12 years. He played 2 NHL.
Listen, I give him a lot of credit. I know he had some time in the pros, but the greatest fighters are in the NHL. They always have been and always will be.
Yeah. I just want to circle back. I want to ask the panel one thing. We talked about San Jose getting to the cap floor. And this is kind of because I know LTIR is really a hot topic where, people thought Vegas and Florida and some other teams were, bending the cap. I liked the idea of having a loaded playoff roster. I liked LTIR, and now that they took it away and having extra cap come playoff time, I like that. But it's teams like San Jose where they put out a terrible roster. They have to literally take other people's horrible contracts to get to the cap floor. And those other teams are complaining when, you got teams like Vegas and Florida who are trying to win. They have an injury and they come back and they're able to fill that cap space. The guy gets healthy, whether you want to say miraculously or not. But I think that is good for the league to have loaded rosters. And Bettman taking it away, I'm really not a fan of that. And that's just me.
I'll let Katsi, I'll let you grab that one real quick. What do you think about it?
There's so much mumbo jumbo going on in the NHL now when it comes to what Matty's talking about. I kind of agree with Matty on this. I mean, sometimes you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't when it comes to your roster with injuries and all this shit that happens and who's hurt, who's not. I mean, look at how Florida kind of played it up last year with the injuries that they had. They somehow tricked the NHL into letting them do what they wanted to do. So I agree with Matty 100% on that. I mean, there's got to be some more. I think more base rules set in stone, but I also think there should be outs too at the same time for your team when you got major injuries and shit like that. You know what I mean?
I would say one thing that could deter it, in my opinion, is if somebody's missed the last, let's say right before the trade deadline, they get hurt, they can't play the first round. You do that, and then that player can come back. I'm okay with that.
I'm okay. I'm okay. I think something has to be done because I feel like it's cheating regardless. I mean, if you cheat, you cheat. Hey, you gave me an ace in the last hand and I'm going to hold it for the next hand. And I don't know what you're going to give me, but I just feel like it's cheating. It's outright cheating. If you have a cap and it's a hard cap in our league, you shouldn't be able to circumvent the system because you're going to the playoffs and you got a guy who's eating up a certain amount of dollars, and then all of a sudden we get into the playoffs and, we signed all these other guys and we got this other superstar, and now, you're feeling good? You want to play? Fantastic. You're in there. There's got to be repercussions for it, and I'm glad the league is.
Yeah, you know what the repercussions should be? Get rid of the fucking cap.
Well, I mean, I'm all for that too, but if you're going to play
business,
cap, you got to play
business, people. It's a business. If you can't support your own team in your own city, tough shit.
Well, I mean, I don't.
That didn't work out too well with us with Glenn Sather either. So let's just easy with the release.
Okay, but it doesn't matter, Ricky. I mean, I can give you an example of me. I missed about 3/4 of a season one year because I tore my groin into my stomach. I came back in the playoffs and I got picked the second star the first game I came back.
Yeah, but there was no cap then, and I'm fine
with it.
I'm fine with it. But if you have a cap, then you need to play by the rules.
Real quick.
Maddie's right. There's got to be something set in stone a little bit. Maybe not too much, but a little bit to.
I don't disagree, but there has to be a repercussion somewhere.
Are we
Yeah, get
are
rid
we
of
in
the cap.
favor
That's
of
that's my
luxury
guy.
tax
My
like
idea is get
NBA?
rid of the cap.
I'm going to ask the panel: are we in favor of a luxury tax where you can go over the cap like the NBA, or you think it should be a hard cap?
I don't want a cap, period.
I don't want a cap at all.
I agree.
I don't want the cap. I hate the cap.
I mean,
I understand the cap, but I don't want it.
If you and I are in the same business together, like we're doing the same thing, but you're better than me at it, why shouldn't you get rewarded?
I agree. The owners have the dollars. Make them pony up. Put the best product out there.
I agree.
Don't make a difference to me either way because we're not making the playoffs.
Well, Ricky's going to open it up right here. Hey, Rick, what'd you think of the New York Rangers last night?
Yeah,
I'm gonna sit back here while Matty and Ricky go
Sit
at
back and let me go at this one,
Watch
okay?
this.
And I'm being I try to be funny a lot of the times, but I'm going to be really serious right now.
Let's go.
I think last night should begin the end of Chris Drury's tenure with the New York Rangers, and here's why. We have zero chance of winning the Stanley Cup this year. I think we all can agree on that. Okay? I don't understand how Tyler Radish is in this lineup. We've discussed this already. Berard is not in this lineup. If anyone coming out of training camp deserved to make this team, it was that kid. Okay? I am not hung up on Perreault because we went through Perreault needs to play top 3 or top 6 minutes, and if he's not available to be there, he's better off in Hartford. I get it. And I'm going to come to a point with this, and maybe Kotze might be the only guy who remembers where I'm going with this. The Rangers last night came out on their own rink, and all of a sudden today it came out, Miller said he didn't feel right. So they played a player who was not ready to play last night. The captain of the team came out and said he didn't feel his timing was there. He didn't feel right on the ice, which tells me he wasn't ready to come back. Same old Rangers. That's check 1. Check 2, no emotion in front of the most pumped up fan base in the country. There's no emotion on the first shift. They got hemmed in their own zone for 35, 40 seconds. There was nothing. Then we get to Lafreniere, who I think we talked about this last night. He had a decent game. If he could ever finish, the kid would be a superstar. He gets into scoring chances and gets into the positions to shoot the puck. He just cannot finish right now. Adam Fox. And just let me get to my point on this, because I know you guys are going to hate to hear it. Adam Fox is not an elite hockey player anymore, and it's due to injury. When Adam Fox was healthy, he was a top 3 defenseman, Norris Trophy winning defenseman in this league. He has not been okay since the knee injury. He's slower. I watched him last night. His skating style is different. He cannot make sharp turns. He does not stop on an edge like he used to. He does not belong in the defensive zone, killing penalties. We've discussed this. But Foxy, you got to shoot the puck and you got to stop with the turnovers on the power play. There was at least 2 to 3 incidents last night where he just gives the puck up. Just literally gives the puck up. The successful power plays in the NHL go at Kotze. Who ran the best power play in the history of the minor leagues? Nick Fotiu. The guy scored maybe 7 goals in the season, and that was his high. But he ran the best power play in the history of the minor leagues. Throw the puck at the net. Put bodies at the net. The 7 passes for an attempted one-timer where Zibanejad misses the net. Trocheck breaks his stick. Fox gives the puck away. It's enough. You got Cooley. You got Rempe. You got big bodies in front. Throw the puck at the net and let's see what develops. The 6 passes and Fox giveaways have just worn me down. And the New York Ranger coaching staff last night is perfect. And I'm going to say why. Mike Sullivan has the patience of a saint. I think he was told in his first year, we don't expect you to win. Get this team back to being in the playoffs and we'll accept that from the ownership. Because there was 0 sense of urgency on that team last night. It was the same old Rangers. The same used to be the same old Mets. We blow a 21 game over 500 and we don't make the playoffs. The New York Rangers looked like horse shit last night. There was 0 sense of urgency. It looks like Peter Laviolette never left. They had no hustle. There was no forecheck. They were, what did we say last night, Matty? Out hit, out chance, out everything in their own home opener against the coach.
Technically, you're wrong. They didn't get out hit by the stats, right, Matty? Look up the stats.
Yeah.
Rangers actually had more hits than Penguins.
Okay, well, forgive me. I'm sorry. The push against
I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that a little later. That's gonna
look at you
I'm
being the
just saying,
stats guy.
go ahead.
in my humble opinion, What I saw last night, unless there's a 180-degree turnaround, where you're going to be bottom 5 in the league. Igor is going to be frustrated losing games 2-1, 1-0, 3-2. If this offense can't score, we don't have a chance. We might be one of the worst teams in the league if this offense doesn't turn around because our defense sucks. I know where Matty's going to go when I'm done because I know he talked about it last night. Our third pair is goddamn awful. Awful. And whoever made the decision to put a forward in between the net and a face-off and not have a defenseman back on the first goal should be fired. And if it was David Quinn, good effing bye. I'm not going to say the F-bomb because Paulie asked me not to, but I'm fired up right now. Fox, take your hockey stick, shove it straight up your ass, and go to somewhere in Canada because I'm done watching you play. You suck. You suck. And if anybody wants to argue with me, open your eyes. He is not an elite NHL defenseman. He is not a first power play quarterback. The man is terrible. I'm done. Say whatever the hell you want. I'm sick of this team. One fucking game in.
All right. There was a lot said there. we gave you your 18 minutes. All right. So, Kotz, I'm gonna let you.
I'm gonna let Matty go because they.
Well, no, I wanted Matty to kind of clean it up, but if you're not gonna go, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go.
You go. Mine's gonna be a little bit shorter.
Right. So, Ricky, I got to tell you that I probably agree with 93% of what you had to say, but I'm going to focus on the 7%.
Isn't it Zibanejad's number 93?
That's what I said.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I'm going to focus on the 7% here because I think there's a lot to be said. For one, I agree with you. I'm not sure why Barad didn't make this team. I think Konashiri shouldn't have made the team. I'll be honest with you. I don't like that move. I don't like the fact that Morrow isn't playing. Okay. But I want to go back into preseason. Now, I'm not sure of what the injuries are to Panarin and Miller, but they were strong enough to keep them out of the lineups. And we talked about preseason games, and unfortunately now in today's hockey, it's not about the things that we love anymore. It's about trying to understand what this team's identity should look like. And much like last year, the team that we saw last night had absolutely no offensive chemistry at all. I think they were lost with each other. There was no feel. There was no urgency. There was all of those things, and I want to sit back and I want to say a lot of what I saw last night were guys that were just had no chemistry. I saw some of the talent that we're used to seeing, but I did not see anything last night that resembled a team that had an identity on how they're going to play hockey. So my biggest problem here is, and I know Kotzi's going to disagree with me, the one improvement that I did see that I do want to talk about is I finally saw a defensive core that actually could move pucks and win pucks in the corners, because we haven't seen that in years with Keandre Millers and Langrens and Sushi played a pretty tough game.
Who moved the puck?
Huh?
Who moved the puck in the corners?
I think we won puck battles in the corners. Yes, absolutely. Where I haven't seen that in a defensive core in a very long time. Well, with that being said, I will let whoever wants to go next go next.
Matt, step up here. Talk about what you told me last night.
Matty, your turn.
My turn? Okay. All right. So I'm going to go shorter than both of you guys. So the way I see it, I thought effort was there. I just felt like perhaps it wasn't necessarily – I think you have a lot of jumbling on the defensive pairs. I think the defense was okay. Shesterkin made a lot of saves. The offense was absolutely atrocious. You could count on one hand the number of possessions that they had where 3 or 4 passes were made. It felt like everything was from the outside. I can't think of one grade A opportunity that they had going at the net. We made a goaltender that had a sub-900 goals against save percentage, made him look like Patrick Waugh last night. That he was, made all the saves that he should have made. But I think if we're going to go glass half full, it looked like they didn't know a system. And Mike Sullivan has a high-pressure forechecking system.
Agreed.
It looks like they didn't know how to play. Because if you look how the preseason ended, they blew a couple third-period leads. The last game in Boston was absolutely atrocious. So they really did not play well in the preseason. So you know what? You look at the preseason, you can say, oh, it's just preseason, but it does have some merit. Miller was out of the lineup. Panarin was out of the lineup. They had no continuity on their first power play unit. You saw that when it came to live action. But I think that my biggest takeaway, it's going to take about 10 or 15 games to get the Mike Sullivan system down. The best player, the best forward on the ice was Connor Sheary. Why? He knew how to play Sullivan's system. He won 2 cups with it. So I'm going to give it 10, 15 games. I'm not saying the sky is falling like Ricky. Ricky's right on a lot of what he's saying. But you know what? I'm going to give it some time, but boy, this team cannot get off to a bad start. You had the no BS mantra coming into the season, and you laid an egg on opening night at home on national television. Not a good look and not good for their mental state. So they need to get their rear in gear real quick.
Well, I watched everything but the last 3 minutes because even at 1-0, I know they got 2 goals scored against them in the empty net. I knew they weren't going to score, so I just turned the TV away, I'll be honest with you. That's the way it felt all night. But let me remind you guys what I talked about last week, and you kind of mentioned it a little bit there, Matty. I think it's about an 8 to 10 game trial for this team with your Connor Shearys, Ricky, with your Radishes, and all that stuff. I do. I think it's an 8 to 10 game trial. Whatever. Well, you know what? He had 2 shots on goal last night. I can mention some of the big 6 that didn't get any shots. Okay? So let's not rip the guy too bad. It's an 8 to 10 game trial run to see how these guys play together. And it was obvious. None of us have to be a genius to figure out there was no continuity. There was no flow. They looked slow. They didn't look ready. The only guy that played up to the standard last night was Shesterkin. That's it. Let's call it what it is. The other big 6 that make the most money on the team were basically invisible the whole night. Okay? And I'll give you a stat. Do you know how many hits the defenseman of the New York Rangers had last night? And I'm not a stat guy, but I had to look this up because I saw it with my own eyes. You know how many total hits they had last night, guys?
Let's hear it.
Touchdown, 7. That's it. And by today's standards, if I was playing, I used to get 5 to 7 hits a game back in my day, and you have to really hit somebody. Today, if you run by somebody, you get, well, that's a hit. You had 7 hits from your defenseman last night. 2 of them were by Adam Fox.
Woo! Nice.
If you're going to sit there and tell me about the defense, Paulie, winning battles on the boards, winning this, you and I saw a different game last night. Because I saw at least 3 chances beside the 1 goal that Brazil scored where they left guys in front of the net all over the place last night. Pittsburgh didn't play a great game, but you know what they did? They played smart enough just to let the Rangers kill themselves.
Yeah.
And Shelovs, did anybody have an actual really good scoring a chance against them last night? Seriously.
No.
That's what I said.
Where you say, oh, damn, what a great save this guy made. A spectacular save. No. But now I'm going to calm down a little. It's a trial run right now. New coach, new system, quite a few new players when you really think about it. Let it see. Let's see what happens for the first 8 to 10 games. And then after that, if the shit keeps falling, time to bring the young guys up. And if you're going to lose with them. Don't be losing with guys that are just there for a paycheck.
Okay. I want to make one correction. I didn't say the defensive coverage was good. I said when, and I mean when. I saw Susie win puck battles in the corners. I saw Borgen win puck battles in the corners. I thought, honestly, I didn't say the coverage was good. I didn't say the responsibility was good. I said what I did see for the first time is a defense core that actually can win battles and not lose battles in the corners. That's what I said, because I saw that last night. And that was the one thing I took away from that game. I said, well, at least they're not, because Foxy give up the puck in the corner in a minute, Lindgren give up a corner in the puck in a minute, and Miller gave up a puck.
Well, if they play like they did last night against a physical team, what's going to happen to them?
Well,
Pittsburgh's not exactly a gargantuan about we're going to beat the crap out of you along the boards and stuff like that. I slightly disagree. I see what you're saying, though, because you're right. Susie did make some good passes out of his own end and stuff like that. And Fox is still Fox when he's got time. But 7 hits by your defensive core.
It's horrible, yeah.
Come on, guys.
I want to know one
bump into
defenseman.
somebody sooner or later.
Paulie, one defenseman you didn't bring up, Gavrikov.
I thought he looked slow last night. I thought he looked slow last night.
Wait, hold on.
He
Gotsi. Let Matty tell you his theory on Gavrikov that he told me last night. I told him
Let's go.
I think Gavrikov's overrated. I do. I mean, listen. You want to go. I know Ricky is going to say it's Adam Fox, but Gavrikov, I saw him falling on the ice. And again, we have the Mike Sullivan system. I say 10 to 15. Kotze says 8 to 10 games. We got to see what's up. But that pairing was their worst defensive pairing. And all we heard about, all the Rangers always talked about was, we got to find a top pair D for Adam Fox. We got to find a guy. Lindgren's not the guy. Miller's not the guy. Susie's not the guy. Vakahainen's not the guy. So we went out and got Gavrikov. And first game, I was not impressed. I really wasn't. I thought they got bullied.
Okay.
I didn't think Gavrikov was.
Let me jump in there for 1 second, Matty. You just named 9 defensemen. Lindgren wasn't the guy. Miller wasn't the guy. Maybe Adam Fox isn't the freaking guy. Maybe Adam Fox isn't the number one we all think he is. I'm just going to say it. Maybe he's not as good. And the pressure of having to cover his mistakes is a lot for an average defenseman who's playing up in his game.
Well, when you're a 5'10" defenseman that's already not the fastest skater, and now you're getting injured and you're slower, and really what made Adam Fox great was he was shifty. He could make that first quick pass, and he could get the puck through the net, and Kreider would be in front with deflections, or whoever's playing the bumper would be able, he was great at that. But when he
nobody wants him to be great more than me. Nobody wants him to be great more than I do, guys. I don't want.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, Matty, about Gavrikov, though, okay? Because I had this discussion with my good friend Ron Greshner. To the rafters, please, Rangers. Put his jersey up here. Quit wasting your time. We had a good talk about it today because he was at the game last night doing all his ambassador stuff, and he signed a 7-year deal for $49 million, right? I don't know about you, but the more I think about it, if you were a highly sought free agent, don't you think he would have got more somewhere else?
Oh, he left money on the table.
And not get heavily taxed in New York? I don't know. I'm trying to figure this guy out because when they signed him, the immediate thing I did was look at some of the highlights that he had in Los Angeles. I guess they showed the best that he ever had because he looked pretty damn good to me. He's actually hitting guys with power, making plays, scoring goals, and setting up goals. He just looked slow last night. Again, I'm not going to judge him on one game.
Yeah, it's way too early.
I'm not going to judge anything about last night on one game. But there are some signs there that we could be right from 8 to 15 games from now. There might be a few changes and a few call-ups from the minors.
Yeah.
Hey guys, give me one positive takeaway each from last night's game. What was
I think Shesterkin was the best player on the ice. That's about it.
You had a chance to win. You were in the game 90%. You're looking at one face-off that was the goal scored where Lafreniere was not in position. Where, like Ricky, you said, that was a coaching lapse. Lafreniere got caught puck watching, was in between. You got a
that's
broken
that
play
goal. You talk about that.
The goal, the one legitimate
goal they
Pittsburgh
scored.
Yeah, the one
first
legitimate goal Pittsburgh scored.
We froze.
Right? Laughing,
Yeah, that's like Ricky said it right though. Why is a forward there instead of a
like I said,
defenseman?
he's a coach.
Cuts. Who's
That's also
responsible
the thing.
for that lineup right there? Who's responsible for that face-off?
Quinn.
No, Quinn's
took
not,
the heat for it.
Quinn's not the defense. They say he's there
Quinn's
for
running the power play. That's it.
He's really running the power play and the
He's running
offense.
the power play.
You know who's responsible there? Your centerman. Your centerman should be lining up where he's going to try to go with the puck. Okay, but I don't think I look back at it now and I didn't think of it last night. I just thought of it.
We lost them again.
Oh no!
Oh, Paulie, I'll jump in with Coffee. My one good point for the whole game: the single nicest uniforms in the history of the New York Rangers.
Oh my God!
I have never seen that team look better. They came out and I looked at them and I went, "Fudge! I have to buy that jersey tomorrow."
Yeah.
I just don't understand why a defenseman is not closest to the net.
Yeah. Who's responsible for lining up like that?
I'll be honest with you. Maybe things have changed and everything's like so analytic now. But when we lined up for a face-off in our own zone, our centerman basically dictated where you're supposed. I want you here. I want you there. I want you here. That's the way it was in my day. I don't know what it is like right now.
Yeah, but with that
The
face-off,
defense should be right there. The defense should be with that forward on the opposition.
Should have been right on the right-hand side of that. Yeah, absolutely. I did not understand. I didn't understand why that was lined up like that. Both the defensemen were fucking on the other side. It made no sense.
I think our defenseman was to the right of the centerman, but he wasn't up on the hash mark.
Right.
So when
front of the net, where he should have been.
Trocheck kind of won the face-off, but it went back behind him. And that defenseman, I'm not sure if it was Borgen or whoever it was.
No, it was Suki Sucky.
Yeah, but he jumped on it. He tried to get to the puck, and that basically vacated the front of the net. But you should never have a guy, your right defenseman behind that guy unless you're trying to score a goal with a minute to go.
Did not understand the positional lineup of that face-off.
That was a wrong.
That hurt us. But, Ricky, I like your question. Kotze, okay, so Kotze said Shesterkin. I think we could all agree that Shesterkin was definitely the brightest side. But I'd like to hear, Maddie. I know you started with, we were in the Rangers were in the game. I agree. We are looking at the Ice Chickens, though. It's not like they're a fantastic hockey club. They're going to be lucky to be a 500 club this year, I think, to be honest with you. Positives, like I said, I think the one thing that I do like is I feel like the Rangers actually have a much thicker, stronger bodied defensive core, which we haven't seen in a long time. Hopefully they use it. I actually thought, and I know nobody mentioned it, but I actually thought Zibanejad's legs were pretty good last night. I saw a lot of him making a lot of really good defensive plays. I thought he was smart defensively in some areas. I thought he was moving his feet, and I think Kotze said this time and time again. This team is going to go as Zibanejad goes. If Zibanejad could get some mojo, it's really going to help that line. The guy that I'm the most worried about, and I keep saying this, is Lafreniere. I just don't know. I'm so confused of what Lafreniere is going to be. There was that time where we thought, wow, did this kid get it? Does he get it? Is he going to get it? And as quick as he got there, he fell right away. I mean, I just don't see this kid being who they got to be. And I'm going to add one other thing that really frustrated me last night is where was Cooley last night?
He had 7 hits last night, Paulie. He was the only forward hitting last night outside of Rempe.
Understood, but I'm feeling like he's supposed to take an offensive role here now.
It's hard to be an offensive winger when you're standing in front of the net.
So I didn't hear.
It's hard to be an offensive winger when you're standing in front of the net and your offense can't get the puck in front of the net.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't disagree there, but I did not see what
I'm very
wanted.
critical of Will Cooley. I'm very critical of him. I thought he had a good game last night. I thought he hit a lot. I thought he was where he should have been. There was a lot of missed shots on net, and I think Maddie said this last night and earlier. All the shots came out from outside the perimeter. There was nothing down
Agreed.
low, nothing funneled to the net. So it's hard for him to look good. He did have one chance where I believe he whiffed on a shot, and he was pretty much in the circles in the second period, and he kind of muffed the shot. But other than that, I got to give him a pass because I don't think his line mates were up to doing what he needed to look successful. But
Look,
Zibanejad,
if we're going to sit there and put all the weight of the world on Cooley,
No,
we're really in trouble.
no.
It's the
Not at
guys
all.
that make the most coin that need to perform. Period.
Yeah.
End of story. Fox, Lafreniere, Panarin, Zibanejad, JT Miller, Trocheck. Simple, guys.
Well,
It's simple.
just to piggyback on Lafreniere, I said this before. You probably can't have Panarin and Trocheck and Lafreniere all on one line. Panarin is not defensively responsible. Lafreniere is not defensively responsible. Trocheck is. You look at the other line. Cooley is defensively responsible. Zibanejad's defensively responsible, and JT Miller. You got to break up Panarin and Lafreniere. Have Lafreniere play his natural position of left wing. That's what he was. That's how he got drafted as a number 1 overall pick, as a left winger. Take Cooley, put him on his off wing, put him with Panarin, put him with Trocheck. I like that a lot better. Put Lafreniere with Miller and Zibanejad. Have him play left wing. Let him play his natural position. Give him no excuses. They finally, for the first power play, they put Trocheck out there again. Why? I don't know. You need to give Lafreniere, and listen, I'm the self-proclaimed Lafreniere hater. You need to give Lafreniere every opportunity to succeed. Because let me tell you something. If you already blew the 2nd overall pick, if you blow the 1st overall pick with Lafreniere, you had a 4-year stretch where you had 9 draft picks. There are 2 currently on the roster. You would basically whiff from 4 forwards that were drafted in the top 10 from 2017 to 2020 if Lafreniere can't figure this out. That is atrocious as a franchise. That is just unbelievably unacceptable that any franchise could whiff this badly. If you had the number 1 and number 2 overall picks consecutively, they should be carrying your roster at this point. And now we got 1 in Seattle, and we got 1 that still can't figure out what he's doing.
You forgot Lias Anderson, too, Matty. You forgot Lias Anderson, too.
No, that's what I said. I said 4 top 10 picks in 4 years. You had Lias Anderson, you had Kraftsov,
There's another good one.
You had Kako, and you had Lafreniere all in 4 years. And if you got your other first-round picks, you have Philip Hedl, who's gone, who was a decent pick. Okay, you had the draft pick that was traded for Jacob Trouba along with Neil Pionk, which that was a fantastic move at the time, right? We gave away a first, and Neil Pionk was a better defenseman right now than Jacob Trouba is. Okay, Schneider turned out to be a decent pick. Niels Lundqvist was a bust. Andre Miller was, I guess, an okay Ranger. I know it's a polarizing topic, but they had 9 first-round picks in 4 years, and they completely whiffed on them. You have 2 players on the roster right now. And Schneider's playing a third pair on defense, and Lafreniere hasn't cracked 60 points as number 1.
Matty, you're absolutely right. I've been telling Paulie this for years. The Rangers scouting staff for the last 25, 30 years hasn't been that good. Okay, outside,
yeah, but don't worry.
The last great draft choice they ever made is Brian Leach. Think about it. And with a high pick, I'm talking about.
Chauncey, hold on.
I'm not going to say they didn't make good choices later in the rounds, but with a high pick, it's Brian Leach. We're talking how many years ago now?
I lectured Maddie last night on this. Do you remember this scenario? And I'm praying to God this doesn't repeat itself. One, we had the kid from Russia died, Chernovsky. Remember the
that's
Russian kid
another one. That was unfortunate.
He passed away. And then we had a kid named Stefan Chernovsky. Do you remember Stefan was a number 2 pick in the Muckler years? Came up in preseason and won all the awards, dominated everything, hit, fought, did the whole 9 yards. And the New York Rangers decided to send him to Hartford. He should have made the team. He was Will Cooley 15 years before Will Cooley. They sent him down, and they kept Brent fucking Fedek and Jody Hull. and Stanowski blew his knee out in the second game in Hartford and never played again.
No,
And that's this organization.
That's the way it goes. But, the other thing, I'm going to make a slight defense for all these draft choices, but a key word, slight. Most guys that get drafted in the first pick, second pick, top 10 usually start right away as their number one position on the team that they're on. All these guys we just mentioned are coming to an overloaded front six.
Yeah.
Ryder was there. Rick Nash. I can go on and on all the way down to the guys there now. Both Hughes and Jersey, he didn't start out on the third line or fourth line, did he? He started out on the first line, the first power play.
Laffy's on his fourth coach.
They never let any of these guys start at the beginning where they were used to. So
He's on his fourth coach. Fourth coach.
It's hard to judge a guy when he's not getting the opportunity that he's used to getting, because he's got 6 or 7 guys that are on long-term contracts already that are automatically penciled in for the offense and the power play.
Yep.
Most guys that get drafted in the top 3 to 5, 6 overall, they usually start right away because that's their team's that bad. The Rangers have never been that horrible where they can say, Lafreniere, you're going to be the number one center or left wing right away, or Kakko, you're going to be the number one forward right away. They've never. So it's kind of it's a juggling act, but eventually you got to be able to. Like, I agree with Matty. Give these guys a shot. Put them in the best position that they can get into, what they're used to, and if it don't work out, then you can call them all like bad choices. Then you can trade them or do what you want. But that's the slight argument. But other than that, I will admit none of those guys showed anything while they played.
What year is
make me want to say, okay, you know what,
Panarin,
you sit on the bench and I'm putting Kakko up there instead. You know what I mean? It's a hard thing, guys. It's hard.
So, this is what, his 5th season?
This is number 6. He's drafted in 2020.
This is number 6.
I looked at the cap situation. Laff's good for another 6 years, 7 years. Trocheck's good for another 4. Zibanejad's good for another 5. JT Miller's good for another 5. Panarin's the only guy that can leave after this year.
Well, okay. The one thing I'm going to remind you of, Mr. Kotsopoulos, is, I have to say this. I love you to death, but I have to say this. You gave me the hardest time with Hedl. You kept saying, well, it's 5 years, it's 6 years, it's 4 years.
Yeah.
You haven't said that about Lafreniere, and that's not fair. It's years.
No, you know what's not fair is you getting on your knees about Hedl all those years.
Listen, you haven't
said shit.
Well, you talk from both sides of your mouth. You talk from both sides of your mouth because he's a Canadian kid, and that's the difference. You talk from both sides of your mouth.
Listen, I love
Canadian kid. You've yet to say,
I love Tino.
Where is he? You've yet to say that, Kotz. But for anybody else, you'll say it. But because he's a Canadian kid, you won't.
Oh, you're so full of shit now it's not funny.
It's not. I'm not.
You're full of shit.
I'm not. He's 6 years. He's 6 years. Go look back at the shows.
Hey, let me ask you a question.
Year 4. It's 4 years, Paulie.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a big shit question.
Where is he?
Okay, how many times did your boy Hedl play a full year? How many times did he play 50 games?
Where is he?
He was hurt all the fucking time.
You make a great point.
He was hurt all the time.
You make a great point. Laff is playing a ton of games. He still fucking sucks, Kotz. It's that simple.
Your boy Hedl sucked.
If Hedl played,
your boy Hedl sucked.
Okay.
Your boy Hedl sucked.
At the end of the day, it's funny because you want to tear down the guys you want to tear down. So when your guy gets teared down, you got nothing to say.
You only hear what you want to hear. I said Kakko should have had a shot up front too. Okay? But Hedl, Christ, he couldn't fucking play. He was like a tin soldier on the ice.
Listen, I had enough of Hito when he farted and he broke 2 discs in his back. That was it for me. I was done with him.
disagree. My point is valid.
Paulie had a fucking obsession with Heedle. Let's get these two guys on board. He had an obsession.
Yeah, look at that obsession paid off.
He's
Huh?
made
How
a
many
lot
cups
of
did Hito win?
Obsession with him.
Hedo's talent level was very good.
He
And
still
all you
stinks.
can
Always
say
won
is
quick.
where
He
it
never
is.
won nothing.
Still
in the end.
stinks.
Very good. At the
He
end of the
still
day, you can talk all the shit you want to talk, Cots.
That's
I
fine.
know what you said. You said
I know
where
what
is
you
the
said.
kid year
But I
after
don't
year
give
after
a
year?
shit.
Where is the number one pick the Rangers had? The kid sucks, man.
Did I not say that he's not lived up to his stuff?
He's
Are
terrible.
You got Stanley Cup rings in your ears like Patrick Roy? What is it with you?
He's terrible. He's
And
terrible.
Heedle stinks too.
Okay. Heedle's got injury problems.
Hold on
Granted.
one second, guys.
Got
Hold
injury
on one
problems.
second.
Now
Guys,
we're gonna sit there. and
Reel
do
it in. Reel it in.
Oh,
Reel it in.
okay.
He's got injury problems.
We have a whole new
Doesn't
front.
have
We
anything
have
to
a
do
whole
with
new
the
front
talent
office
level.
now. We brought in Ryan Clough, a known CTS survivor. Don't worry. We still have Jed Ortmeyer in charge of player development. Our stars are coming, guys. Don't worry.
I've
Jed
never
is
seen
still here.
this. Paulie was clinging on to Heedle every week, every month, every year. And the guy couldn't stay healthy.
Yep.
Period.
So,
End of
He had a
story.
name. Glass
Yep.
Needle was his
The
nickname.
funniest thing to me is the
that,
best
Matty?
chance the Rangers had to win a cup probably in my lifetime was 2024. That was probably the best chance. And we refused to give up Brennan Othman. We could have got Jake Gensel. That was what Pittsburgh wanted. And knowing how we don't develop talent, could you imagine a 2024 roster with Jake Gensel in the top 6? Do we get past Florida with him?
But it's again, though. I agree with you, Matt. You're 100% right. But the bottom line is,
We refuse because that's
how do you
when
look as a general? How do you
Dolan
look?
Dolan had a hard on because he helped build the Sphere in Vegas. He didn't want to give up his first round pick. Back in 2024, they could have flipped Kako and a first round pick for Frank Vetrano and Adam Henrique, who could have been your third line center. Vetrano had chemistry with Kreider and Zibanejad, could have fit right back in the top line like he did in 2022. But he didn't pull the trigger because he didn't want to give up a first round pick. Then Pittsburgh asked for a second and Othman and maybe another mid-round pick. We didn't pull the trigger because we're like, oh, he's a first-round pick. But we can't develop talent.
Matty,
We could have had
how did I start this show, Matty?
I agree with him.
Matty, how did I start this show tonight? Who should be on probation and in the hot seat right off the bat?
I agree.
Chris Drury.
Well, it's not just him, though. We're talking about the past, though, Ricky, okay? Let's talk about
Well, he was the GM
what
in
Matty
24.
just said. What Matty just said is so true of years past, too.
But he was the general manager.
I'm going to remind my good friend Paulie and me getting into it here. Again, none of you guys have a clue when it comes to what a general manager is up against when he's got 6 guys signed to long-term deals on a team that's at least at the middle or the top. You think those first-round picks are going to come in and take their jobs?
Nobody said
Not
that.
You're out of your mind if you think that.
But whose fault is it that those guys are locked up for 8 years?
I'm not arguing that. I'm trying to explain to you why the Rangers have such a tough time with their young core. Besides one guy getting hurt all the time, they have a tough time. They have a tough time breaking into the lineup. Again, like Ricky, if you're the top left winger that I drafted, we drafted you number 2 or 1 like they did back and forth there. Do you think you're taking Chris Kreider's spot 6 years ago?
No.
Not
And that's
after
what
he
leads
had
me to say
50-something
this.
You're not.
When we had the youth influx, when we had
What I'm
Kreider,
saying to
when we
you,
had Derek
that's
Stepan,
why
when we had
sometimes, I'm not saying all the time, sometimes these young guys struggle because they don't get the opportunity in the best situations.
I
They don't
agree
get
with
to play
everything
on
you're
the
saying,
power
Hutch.
play. They're not out there in the last minute trying to win a game. They're sitting on the fucking bench.
I agree 100% with you. I'm just saying is when we had
But
the
I
kids
also
and we
said
had the
that probably
Kreiders.
forgot. I also said that sometimes they don't show enough to deserve that bump at the same time.
Well, I'm just going to say this.
It's
When we had the
not
kids,
a
when you
good
had Kreider,
situation.
and you had Stepan, and you had McDonough, and you had Callahan, and you had all that youth, your goaltender choked and we lost the cup.
Ricky,
End of
what,
story.
Ricky, or Matty, you came up. Was it 2022? You're talking about
Fucking
that
guy.
they could have won the
I
Stanley.
thought the best.
You're the worst, so to do.
2024.
You know what I think was though, the year the Torts took them and they got beat by Jersey. They got by Jersey that year. They choked against Jersey.
Oh my
They
god.
were they would have
We had a goaltender in his prime who got outplayed by a 39-year-old fat pig who banged his sister-in-law.
Okay.
Team choked that year.
You don't need to trigger me with Uncle Daddy right now.
They could have won that year, I thought, if they got past
100%, Cots. But your goaltender choked.
Oh,
Why do you think I don't like him? Why do you think I don't like the man? Nobody will say it. He fucking choked. Why doesn't somebody just say it? Does he pay your fucking mortgage?
man, disagree.
Does he pay your mortgage?
I'm telling you, did you watch the King series?
He
You
gets
watch
you
the series.
there,
We're not
Rick.
talking about the Kings.
He
We're
gets
talking
you
about the
there.
Devil series. He
When
choked
did
in
the
the Devil
Rangers-
series.
when did the
Answer the
Rangers
question.
outskate
Are
them?
we talking about the
When did
Devils or are
they
we
outskate
talking
them?
about the Kings? We're talking about the Devil series. He got outplayed by a fat pig and he choked in the freaking game.
Poor Joe.
He gave up.
Come on,
I think
Marty's
the whole
one of the
team
best of all
choked
time.
personally.
Marty's higher on the
They were
list
better
than-
than the Devils.
You
They
can't-
choked
you
as a
can't hate
team.
on him. Marty's one of the best of all time. He's right up there with
He
Patrick
wasn't
Roy.
at that age. He outplayed our superstar.
He had a good season that year. He had a very good season that year.
I disagree. Wholeheartedly disagree. But
I'll make you a deal, guys. Let's
So,
go back and watch the
you're gonna
series
say-
on
you're gonna say
TV.
he
We'll go
choked.
back and watch it. Let's go bad goal for bad goal in the series. I'll tell you what. I'll bet you any amount of money, anything you want. I guarantee you,
I don't
you're
got that
watching the
much.
series with
I'm a
blinders
mailman.
on.
okay.
Yeah, but you're gonna get a good pension, better than mine.
Oh, Kotsy.
I'm gonna have a
Come on,
stroke
man.
from this
You
freaking
want to
show.
laugh? You want to laugh? You know what my pension is from the NHL? You want to know? $7,000, buddy, a year.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah, but McDavid just left $25 million on the table.
Good for him.
Oh my god. Boy, oh boy, do we digress.
I think the Ranger team choked as a team that year against the Devils. That's right.
Correct.
They were the
Correct.
better team, and they just all
Correct.
choked.
Hey,
Well-
how many? Okay. Ricky, please, real quick.
You got 30
How
seconds.
No. For the panel. How many Ranger series in the Henrik Lundqvist era would you say the skaters on the Rangers versus whoever they were playing, the Ranger skaters played better than whoever they were playing?
Maddie,
How
again,
many
you're
series?
misinterpreting me.
Oh,
Let
Henry
me get my
Lundqvist
point real quick. I'll give you an answer. I don't want to hate him. When the puck came down to him against Marty, Marty stood on his head and Henrik did not. End of story.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
the game
agree
of
with
hockey.
Did he keep us in? Did he steal series from us? Yes. He was God. Many occasions he was God. I have his jersey hanging right on the wall. I'm just telling you, when it came down to that series against New Jersey, he was outplayed and he choked.
The whole team.
That's it.
The whole team choked, Ricky.
So was
You're
was
just
he
being
outplayed
politically
by
correct,
Quick? Was
Potsy, because
Quick
you
had
know
better
damn well he
numbers?
choked in the
The whole
series.
team choked.
I don't know.
And I'll remind you, Ricky, that I get where you're coming from, but I still remember at least 2 seasons there in a row where, if not for Henrik Lundqvist, they wouldn't even come close to 100 points.
Yeah, I mean they wouldn't.
He won 2 seasons in a row. I could count at least 40 games.
What are we in Nashville? We put a banner up for 100-point seasons? What do we put? The President's Trophy's more than the Cup?
You
I don't
gotta
know what you
get
guys are
there.
thinking.
That's the nuts. You gotta get there, Rick.
Ricky, you're an
What do you mean
Eddie,
win it?
you're an Eddie
He gets
Jockman
you there.
fan, Ricky.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. You can take a guy to the finals, and if he doesn't win, he's a nobody. Nobody
What
wants
the
to
hell's
be
Eddie
second place.
Jockman's doing up there then, Ricky? What's Jockman's doing up there then?
I didn't say Jockman was the greatest goalie in the world. I never said that. He's my
your
personal
idol. You
favorite.
told us he was your idol.
I did. So what? He lost it. He
I mean,
never
he's
won
a
a
great.
cup.
He deserves every accolade that he gets.
I never said he's the greatest
May
goalie
not
in the
be
world.
the greatest goalie ever, but he deserves what he gets from New York.
Tom
Time
Brady's
out.
not the greatest quarterback in football. I think he is. He's got more rings than anybody. Rings
Time
talk, guys.
I gotta help you here, Rick. Let me help you here. Where did Phil Bourque go to win his Stanley Cup? Where did Andrew
That
Chuck
was Ray
go to
Bourque,
win it?
first of
Time
all,
out.
Ray Bourque.
Where did
Ray
Andrew Chuck go to win his Stanley Cup? If you would have moved Henrik Lundqvist to a better offensive team, you don't think he would have won a Stanley Cup? I beg to differ, my friend. I beg to differ 100%. There was times where he was the king. But
if my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle.
Huh?
If my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle.
Listen,
your point makes no sense.
No, I'm sorry. There's players that move to other teams and win. If you move Henrik Lundqvist to a better team, he wins. I'm sorry.
No, Paulie, listen to me. If he went to a better team and he stopped the puck, he wins. Yes. But he did not stop the puck in the Jersey series. I'm sorry. I'm not blaming him for LA. LA's a different story. The team choked in LA.
They choked against Jersey.
They got outplayed. LA was a better team.
Jersey was not the better team, Ricky. They didn't come up large against them. The Rangers were a far better team during the regular season than Jersey.
People
you know what proved it? You know what proved it? When Jersey went to the Stanley Cup, they got demolished.
I'm not a Jersey fan. I'm glad they lost.
But they got demolished after they beat the Rangers.
Please go back and watch the game we lost the series. And just go back and watch the goal.
We lost in 5, so I don't think they really got demolished.
That's a demolish. You're not even to me.
So we got demolished too because we lost in 5. They lost in 6.
If they lost 5 in the Stanley Cup,
we're only an hour away from next Wednesday's show.
Yeah, we're done. I'm done. I'm about to hit the plug here. I'm pulling the plug. Especially with this nonsense about Henrik Lundqvist.
Why do we have to end the show with this?
Isn't the show called Instigators?
Yeah. Well, here's what I'm going to instigate. At the end of the day, they play Thursday night, right? What do you guys? Let's go around the panel here.
Just remember this guy right here.
I had that lamp on the Rangers.
Just remember this guy right here.
Hey, Mike Rogers, you remember those lamps Mom made us? My cousin Mike is on the line over there. We have those lamps with New York Rangers. I'm going to tell you this. My prediction for Thursday night, Rempe and Gerson have a hell of a war sometime in that game. Gerson made the Buffalo roster, ex-New York Ranger, ex-Devil. One tough kid. He's a big left-handed guy. He's Lindy Ruff's designated enforcer. Everywhere Lindy goes, the kid goes with him. He's going to play, and him and Rempe are going to have a war. That's my pick on the game.
They better not take Buffalo lightly because Buffalo's kind of like been on the cusp up and down with all the talent that they have. And sooner or later, they got to prove it. And this might be their year.
What's the score?
4-2 Rangers.
I hope the Rangers win 12-0.
I think they lose 4-2. I mean, I'm going to say Noah Laba's line is the line that gets the first goal of the season. When that happens, whenever it happens.
Nobody mentioned Laba tonight either. But we're
he had a good game, but he wasn't outstanding, but he wasn't bad. He did some good things, but he also did some bad things. But
he's got Tyler Adams
out of a rookie.
With him.
This is his first game,
I thought
let him play. I want that kid to play.
Yeah.
Let him play.
He shouldn't touch the ice unless there's an injury.
If he's just there to play for 5 or 8 minutes a night, then you're wasting him.
All right. Well, I want to say goodnight to everybody because we've wasted enough time here.
That's awesome. I love it.
What a debacle we call the Instigators Hockey Show.
Hey, what time you guys got to go to work tomorrow?
15 years this year.
Oh,
6 a.m. 6 a.m.
Rotating days off, baby.
Maddie's off tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Good for you.
Party tonight.
Did you get to sleep in?
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Until my kid wakes me up at 4:30, right?
Well, I just want to say welcome everybody to 15 years of the Instigators Hockey Show.
I had my only son
shut up for 1 second.
My kid was kicked the wife in the middle of the night. He's crying. I got to get ready for the game tomorrow.
My kid just looks over me like a stalker in the middle of the night.
While these guys shoot the shit, good night, everybody.
Out.